Hello everyone, Chandler here. I'm the lead community developer of Historica, the educational trading card game, and in today's tutorial video, we're going to be talking about turn schedule. So, let's begin. In the last tutorial video, we found out how to set up the game and a couple of the fundamental details describing the board and the composition of your deck. So let's build off of that. When you take a turn in Historica, your turn is broken down into 4 separate periods. They're described as first period, second period, third period, and fourth period. So when you begin your turn, you start off in the first period. At the beginning of the first period, you will immediately draw a card and then remove a single day counter from each event in the field of play. You can see over here our event slot. If we were to have an event in there, we would be using a die to keep track of how many day counters there are, and you would remove 1 day counter from your event in play. And then you would also remove 1 day counter from your opponent's event in play. Once you have done so, you would immediately move on to your second period. This period is described by unswiping and gaining. During the game, your squad members may become swiped. That is an action of turning them sideways to represent that they have either inspired this turn or they have used one of their impact features. During the beginning of the second period, you're going to unswipe all of those squad members and make them active again. After you do so, you would look at the corresponding player level table, compare your points to that to see how much charge you would gain. Here we have a little bit of a handy sentry disc on our playmat, and we can use a die to represent how much charge we gain each turn. During your first turn, you would gain 2 charge due to the fact that you're starting at 0 player points, and we can represent this using a die. And once we do so, we can move on to our third period. During this period, it is described by playing cards and swiping cards. You can do a lot during this period, and this is where the bulk of the gameplay occurs. Things that you can do during the third period. You could play squad members from your hand, you could play squad members from your sideline, you could play event cards, essence cards, activate essence cards, play add-ons onto your squad members, and even play a single place per turn. Another important feature to note during the third period is you can only inspire with 3 squad members per turn. However, you can impact with as many squad members as you would like. And you'll find throughout the game that some cards can impact to gain player points, which is important. Once you have played all the cards in your hand and activated all of the squad member effects, event effects, add-on effects, and essence effects, you may move on to your fourth period. During this fourth period, you discard down to 6 cards, and then end your turn, passing your turn to your opponent. Another important feature of the game to speak about is opportunity. Opportunity is a mechanic that delegates whether you can play a card during your opponent's turn or during your turn. The player whose turn it is has first opportunity to play cards during said period. Opportunity changes after each card is played or an ability is used or activated, giving your opponent a chance to respond or play other cards. If it is not a player's turn, they may only play word power cards and impact squad members once they gain opportunity, thus allowing you to interact with your opponent during their own turn as long as you've saved some appropriate amount of charge or unswiped squad members. In the last game, I spoke about how to set up a game and to begin a game. At the end of that video, I drew a hand from the deck. So let's take a look at that hand again. In the hand, we have Celestial, a Plains, a Headless Horseman, an Inkwell, a Pilgrim, and Aurora Borealis. Set that down right here. So let's, step by step, begin our turn. Say that we went first. Take this charge, put it over here. So at the beginning of my turn, I would then draw a card, but because I am going first, I actually skip this draw until my second turn. But my opponent gets to draw on their first turn. This is the advantage and the disadvantages of going first. After that, I would check to see if there's any event cards in play and remove 1 day counter from each event card in play. So as we see, my event slot is empty, my opponent's event slot is empty, so we can skip that step. During my second period, I would then unswipe any squad members in play. As you can see, I have no squad members, and then I would gain charge. Because I'm at 0 player points and we're playing to 1600 player points, the normal game of Historica, I'm only going to gain 2 charge. Set that there to note that we have 2 charge. Now we can actually start to play the game. So during the third period, I can play and swipe my cards. So I'm first going to look at my hand and I'm going to grab the Pilgrim. I'm going to expend the 2 charge, removing the die, going down to 0, and I'm going to play the Pilgrim on the settlement. So the Pilgrim has a unique ability where it can impact to migrate, searching your deck for a card named Pilgrim and putting it into your hand, and then I lose 10 player points. Now that I have a squad member in play, it's important to note that this squad member cannot impact or inspire during the first turn that it had entered the field of play. It is important to note, though, that my Pilgrim is considered unalert. They're not ready to impact or to inspire this turn. Once we pass through my first period, while the squad member is in my field of play and occupying a place, they become alert and active again to either impact, inspire, or swipe. After I've played my Pilgrim, can't impact or inspire within this turn, I'm going to decide to pass my turn. Now moving into my fourth period. We have to check first. Make sure that I don't have 6 cards in hand. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't have to discard the 6 cards, and then I would promptly end my turn. That about wraps up this video, guys. I really appreciate you checking out this video, and hopefully soon we can talk about the next tutorial video. We'll specifically be going into a little bit more detail on the topics of charge, leveling up, and treasure cards. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching again, and have a wonderful day.